So our Beatles-themed episode rolls right along. I am sitting down right here at the establishment called Hey Jules, a Beatles-inspired company located in Clinton Township, Michigan. I'm here with the owner, Jerry DiVirgilio. Jerry, thank you for being here and showing me off what you do with your business today.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for coming by.
So I know that you love being on camera. That's the first thing. No, what I want to ask you though is, so we're talking Beatles this week. We're about to go see the movie yesterday.
I know, I'm so excited.
You're my special guest to go see the movie. So tell people exactly what is Hey Jules, the company.
Well, it's mostly I do custom orders. I make pretty much anything you can think of. Shirts, signs, decals, bags. I've been doing a lot of party planning, event planning, custom decorations. Really, it's kind of endless. I'm always looking to add to my sort of repertoire. So a lot of people will come and say, hey, can you make this? And I'll say, sure. And then I'll figure out how to make it. So it's always a work in progress.
Now, yeah, so where can people find out about your company? You have a Facebook page, that sort of thing?
Yes, I have Facebook. We have Instagram, my email. I do a lot of craft shows, things like that. So it's really easy to find me.
Is it mostly like personalized stuff like for an individual, or is it this like in bulk? Like if I was doing like a party and wanted like 50 of something, is that something that you do?
Actually, yeah, I do both. I'm actually working on an order right now for a group of 20 shirts. I do a lot of like girls' weekend matching shirts or teacher gifts. I did decals for a soccer team. So I can do as little as one thing. That's custom, like gifts for Father's Day, Mother's Day, things like that. But I do definitely do things in bulk and like small events to big events. I'm doing weddings now too. So.
Sweet. We're about to go see the movie yesterday. What are the chances that you're not going to like this movie?
I would say 0 because Ed Sheeran's in it, but there's always that possibility.
So we're going to see it because of Ed Sheeran, I see now. Not because of the Beatles music. It's mostly because Ed Sheeran.
Well, Ed Sheeran doesn't hurt, but anything Beatles related. I've seen pretty much every cheesy Beatles made-for-TV movie you can think of, and I love them all. So one thing I can say is that I am not a fan of Beatle covers, and that's essentially the premise of this movie. So I'm interested to see, will I like it?
See, there you go. So if you don't take it from the film critic, you can take it from the Beatles fanatic as to whether or not this is a good film.
I did hear, though, that Paul gave his stamp of approval. So
is that true?
I heard that.
That's all they need.
We're not personal friends, but we might as well be.
All right, you ready to go? Let's do it.
I am. Let's go.
Okay, so we are at the MJR Troy. We just got out of watching the film finally. We finally got to see it yesterday. Before I talk about it at all, let's hear what Jerry here, a Beatles fanatic, thinks about the movie. What do you think? What's your overall reaction?
Well, I went into it and I wanted to like it, but I loved it. 2 thumbs up. It was so good. It was everything that I wanted it to be, and it was incredible.
What did you think of the performance of the main character, Himesh Patel? I know going into the film you were telling me like you were kind of skeptical about people doing covers of Beatles songs. What did you think of him and how he did in the movie?
Well, I really loved his character. He was very endearing, but I loved his performance. I loved the covers because it didn't feel like a cover. It felt like a real Beatles fan. You could feel the passion, the love of the music. You kind of forgot that he was singing someone else's songs because you can just feel him singing it. It was just incredible. It did. It made my stomach hurt. It made me cry. I want to tell you all about it, but I can't.
So what do I think about the movie? Nobody cares, but here is what I thought. Yesterday is sure to be a crowd pleaser. It's almost impossible to not find yourself smiling and tapping your foot through a movie filled with such timeless songs. Himesh Patel is charismatic and charming and carries himself nicely in his first leading film role. And Lily James has an amazing way of portraying herself as a relatable, down-to-earth girl. This movie is basically just a Beatles-infused romantic comedy, with a heavy dose of fantasy thrown in. And it does require stretching your belief quite a bit. Yesterday sort of backs itself into a corner with its story, though. And my major quibbles come with the ending. There just seemed like there were several more inventive ways that they could have come up with to wrap this thing up. But this is fan service at its best. A movie that isn't so much about plagiarizing the Beatles as it is honoring the impact their music had on all of humanity. There's even a sequence late in the film that's really special. It's the ultimate homage to the memory of the Beatles that is basically the best gift you can possibly imagine giving to a fan of the Beatles. Yesterday has its flaws, and the ending just was not at all satisfying, but you won't find a better soundtrack at the movies this year. I give Yesterday a B. For more detailed reviews of these and other movies, please check me out on Rotten Tomatoes. You can go to the site, search the critics list to find Tom Santilli, and you can scroll through all of my recent and not so recent reviews. Another good way to find my stuff is to follow me on Twitter @TomSantilli or go to the website movieshowplus.com.